aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan. Ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho.
Moi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jules, and this is the Seinäjoki Football Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews and interviews from SJK Seinäjoki.
Yeah, but we're doing it in English for an international fan base. So, Jules, who's joining us for this episode?
Well, we did have someone lined up, but they are far too cool to be here. In fact, they've got band practice, and we're not talking like, American band, we're talking like good punk band.
This one time at band camp.
Yep. So it was very short notice that we got this together, so that's why. And also there was a game last night, so we're not asking any of the players because they're recovering and all that stuff. So it's just you and me. We're on our Jack Jones.
Yeah, that's right. We realised that there's been like 3 games in a short period since our last episode, so we thought we'd just turn on the mics and have a chat. So it's a slightly different vibe.
Yeah, three games in and it was, I've written it down here because I can't remember because they come so quick. But what was it? Yeah, Monday, Friday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So 3 games in 8 days.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So we'll have a guest again next time, and we're looking at you, Jyrki, the coolest punk rocker in Seinäjoki. But we'll mostly just look back at those last few games.
Yep.
But let's start with a shout out, because when I was at the Vepsu game, Jules, I received a lovely compliment in the men's bathroom during the game.
Oh, what was that? Was it like it's like a strobe light going off?
No, it was from a chap called Jaakko, and he maintained a decent eye contact for the whole conversation, even though I was busy at the time, and he just said that he likes listening to us, and he the last episode, and I sort of said, why do you listen to the English language podcast? And he just said, well, I like to hear some different perspectives. There's lots of others in Finnish, but this is the only one in English. And then when I said, oh, well, I also make the Finnish football show, he said, yeah, not interested in the national team, just HJK.
It should be. It should be.
All my FFS teammates, I did try. I'm always trying. So Jaakko, thanks for listening, and feel free to say hi also on the terrace or in the bar, as well as in the gents.
It's always those odd awkward conversations, isn't it, in the toilet? It's
but when somebody's giving praise for the podcast, it always makes me feel a little bit more proud.
Yeah. Helps you to come out of your shell a bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Right, let's talk about football. I'm starting to blush.
You've got the punchline, haven't you? It was like, Mark and Jules talking balls. So I think we've actually almost reached that point now.
Yeah,
we really close to it.
We really should get that put on the t-shirt, like I thought. Let's start with this Wednesday now, Wednesday the 21st, and yesterday was the away game against HJK.
Or should we go through all the things leading up to it?
Because do you want to go chronological?
Well, I think by the time we get to HJK, then we could have gone through all our injuries, and that was very critical to when we arrived in Helsinki.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Yeah, a chronological order is often the way that things happen.
Yeah, so and it does affect,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, then let's go back then to Monday, a week or so ago. HJK to VPS Vaasa 3. This whole day started out nicely because we went there with a group of friends from WISE, our association. So we had 14 of us there, and I think there were 5 going for the first time. We went to the Carlsberg bar. We got the buffet tickets there, and that's the first time I've ever had that buffet at the ground in 10 seasons. I've never bothered before, and that was pretty good.
It was good. It was good. Get some substance there to absorb the beer.
How was your vegetarian option?
get some substance. Oh, they've done something nice, so I don't want to complain. But there was a vegetarian option, so that was good.
Well, this is, and actually, let's be completely honest about it. It's good to have that vegetarian option
Yeah,
because it's not
exactly.
always there, and that's important. It was,
And the guy brought it to me. I asked, "Is there a vegetarian option?" And he brought it to me. So table service. So that's really good. It was a bit cold in the middle,
yeah,
but
okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
yeah. That's it.
Small,
Hey, it's better. It's good to have some food. I don't care
mate,
if it's cold or not.
small steps.
Yeah, and you
Progress
never
comes in small
die.
steps.
People haven't died of raw vegetables.
No,
No. Raw
Uh,
meat, maybe, but raw vegetables, you're all right.
unless a big packet of frozen carrots falls on your head, it could do you some damage. Right, football, Jules, football. Stop messing around.
Oh,
Um,
come on, we haven't won in 3 games.
yeah,
So,
uh,
four
but
or four, is it? I can't remember.
but what about this? This Vepsu game started with a penalty against us in like the third minute. I mean, it was a
Yeah, as I said, it was a
packed crowd,
blatant
wasn't it?
two-footed lunge by Chuck Woody, took the man in the ball. God, I mean, oh, no,
He
no, it
touched his
wasn't.
arm, didn't he? And the fella spun around like a Victorian spinning top
The guy was
and
running
fell
out of
over.
the box as
Yeah,
well. By the time, I wasn't even sure it was in the box, and it was nothing, absolutely nothing.
yeah,
So,
uh,
just going from the reactions from the crowd,
yeah.
quite a few people were very angry about it. The commentators I've been listening back, they were totally shocked and surprised. And other podcasts that I've listened to, they were saying like, well, if you get a penalty for that, then there's going to be about 10 penalties every game.
Hang on, there are
So
other podcasts
yeah, it
that
was in
I'm not on.
Finnish. It was in Finnish.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not as good, but
But and that did knock the crowd a little bit because it was such a shock to see the penalty, and then they scored it, and after 5 minutes we're sort of one down, and it does affect the crowd to try and then get back up to
yeah.
full speed. But we did pull ourselves back into the game.
And got to give credit, I hate doing this, to VPS all the way through, or VPS fans, that they did make a lot of noise. They came in lots of numbers. This isn't the VPS of 5 years ago. They came with lots of numbers. They made lots of noise. Yeah, yeah, hate them. Uh,
What was the VPS of 5 years ago? For
five
those
years
that
ago, there'd be about 30 people there, if that.
right, okay.
So home or away was always home for us. But now they seem to have got their act together again. And are starting to get numbers to come to Seinäjoki and even their own stadium. So
But that was important because the crowd was over 5,000. I mean, at one stage it was reported as 6,075, which I think is above capacity. And there were definitely a few yellow seats visible during the
yeah,
game. But
yeah,
even so, it was a really good crowd, a really nice evening. And there's pictures in the first half of that main stand, and it looks full, which is
yeah.
amazing. That's how that stadium should be every home game.
It was a great game, very entertaining.
And
Bad result.
yeah, do you want to talk a little bit through the goals that we got?
Okay, so in 23rd minute, Alanis Vargas put on his afterburners, and actually, he's said to be one of the fastest players in the VPS Liga, and we saw that and got to his man, put a lovely cross in, that kind of thing that's between the keeper and the last defender, and then Rasse bangs it in at the far post. So that's 1-1. Do you want to do the second goal?
Yeah, I
Oh no,
actually
sorry. Yeah,
no, go on. There was one other thing you put before the
yeah.
before the goal.
35 minutes with all that speed, there is a drawback, and that
Yeah,
is that you're likely to pull your hamstring every now and again. So, yeah, Vargas pulled his hamstring, so hope he gets well soon.
yeah, and the our second goal, I kind of missed it at the time because I was either looking at my phone or talking to Satu or probably both.
Yeah,
But when I look back, it was a really nicely worked goal.
yeah,
Several passes, that classic kind of football that Stevie's trying to get the team to play. Lots of short passing, lots of movement, and then a ball into the box from one of those key points where you're supposed to cross the ball from. And it was a really good header from Jere Streng, right inside, right in front of the goal.
yeah,
And it felt like we'd turned it around and we're moving in the right direction. Um, what I would say is that looking back at the highlights, like the game, there were chances at both ends. It was
yeah,
really like both teams going for it. And after the I don't know, eight games now that we've played. The level of the teams is quite even.
Mm,
Like this is
yeah,
not okay. Coops are doing a good job of stretching away at the top at the moment, but there wasn't much between us and them, and there's not much between the other teams that we played so far. You know,
that's true. You mean skill wise or performance wise?
performance wise,
Yep.
particularly,
Yep.
like the games are even,
Mm.
and we're scoring. Well, there was a story, wasn't there, or an article in the VPS Liga that the VPS Liga is the highest scoring league in Europe at the moment, averaging 3.5 goals a game, which is quite something.
Mm.
I don't
Yep.
think our games have dropped down as low as that.
No, no. Yes, especially after last night.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
it's very entertaining.
but then, unfortunately, Vepsu started to come back into the game.
Yeah, there was the Wataki Wonder Strike from outside the box, and through the crowd, I suppose. Well,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it was through a crowd, but it was from the outside of the box, and the box was full. And then, yeah, Rope Barnio didn't have much chance to get to. I think he got a hand or
got a
two to
hand
it.
to it. Yeah, it was
Yeah, but still,
curling, isn't it?
yeah,
Inside the post.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, I thought we would go on to win it, and their keeper, Pepper Martin, makes a couple of saves, a save from Russ. They tried to score an own goal as well. Remember that back pass
That back
when
pass was hilarious. I've never seen anything like it. It was a back pass from a goal kick
yeah,
that the keeper wasn't looking. Well, neither of them were really looking,
yeah,
and
Halkio,
the
yeah, wasn't it? Who's yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
tried to do us a favour, old
yeah,
AC core player,
yeah,
and the ball like rolled across the goalkeeper's feet and went out for a corner.
yeah.
It was the maddest thing I've seen. That's modern football and all this messing around at the back. That was kind of the perfect example of why sometimes you should play it forwards.
Yeah, yeah, or at least look where you're passing it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that. Um, but then it we lost it at the end again,
yeah.
and it's not the first late goal that we've conceded this year. And yeah, like you said, it was Mads Borchers who sort of snuck in and poked it through past Rope Paunio. He got a touch, but it sort of bounced off the keeper and up into the roof of the net, and it didn't even hit the back of the net. It sort of hit the roof of the net and just dropped behind the goal line. But it
Yeah.
was so late. It was so hard to take, and to then have to watch the Vepsu fans celebrating for like 10, 15
Mm,
minutes.
yeah.
Um, it stings. It
Yeah,
stings.
yeah, it was nice. Couldn't watch it for about 2 or 3 days after that
It
thing,
took
and
me a week.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't watch it
wasn't
until
good.
Monday, a week later.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think we didn't have the luck in that game. Things just didn't go. I know that the back passes, you can't say that's luck, but it hit the post and rolled across the. That says like hit the post, or was it pushed onto the post and it kind of rolled across the
yeah,
goal line?
that's right. It was one of those.
The one from Mads Borchia, that went through Pawnee on other days that doesn't go in.
Yeah.
I just think that we didn't get the rub of the green on this day, but maybe we did against Kingston. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, so let's move on to the Gnistan game on Friday. It finished 2-2, and you said in the last episode that the away games at Gnistan, um, a draw is a decent result in a regular season, but if
yeah,
you want to be challenging at the top, you've got to win those.
yeah.
And it was another game that really swung from end,
Oh
or not
gosh,
from
yeah,
end to end, but there were periods. There were
yeah,
periods where we were really good, and there were
yeah,
periods when they were really
yeah,
pressurizing us.
yeah.
And go
Mm,
on.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll get to it, but yeah, at one point they could have scored four. But
Yeah,
so I think that's when we had maybe the a bit more luck then that they didn't score four. Um, but then, as you said, I've never seen a game with the dominance change so rapidly. Uh, because at the end, I thought that we could win it.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
that's that's
yeah,
exactly right. Yeah, and there were a couple more former Asico players in that team. What I would say, and I had to say this when we were watching the game at home on Friday, is Gnistan have got several former Finnish international players
yeah,
in the team,
yeah.
and we've got one, and the rest, Rasse,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
rest of our team is really young.
mm,
So although Gnistan came up last season, they did well to stay up. They're building on
Yeah, and
that.
they got some names there. Yeah,
Yeah, they really. I
yeah,
mean, Roman Eremenko was incredible in that game. I mean,
yeah,
he is a sort of a national team legend, I suppose.
mm,
And the skill that he displayed in that game, his passing, that kind of scissor kick shot that went off the outside of the post, like
yeah.
it was incredible. I mean, he looks in great shape. Um, he's 38 years old, but still he looks in great shape.
Yep.
He's got all the skill there. Have to be impressed with that. But they took the lead. Former ASICO player Verti Hanninen. Um,
Yeah, it's a nice finish.
yeah, Topias, my stepson asked me, "Oh, I don't remember him. Did he? He didn't do anything for us." And I said, "Well, he was really young. Like when
Yeah,
he came to us, I think was he one of the players that came from Rops when Rops folded? I seem to remember that two or three,
could
like
be.
Tuomas Kaukua came at the same
Okay,
time,
I don't
maybe.
know. I
Anyway,
can
he was really young when he came to us.
remember him being really good in pre-season, and I think did he get injured or not? But he was a kind of squad player for
Yeah,
us, and yeah,
yeah, that's right. But he got the first goal in the 14th minute, and then in the 25th minute there was we had the ball played around the outside of the box, and was it us? They slipped the ball through.
no, this was the corner.
Sorry, go on.
Yep, this was the corner, and Chuck Woody scored from what 2 yards, if that.
Yeah, he
So
he scored two goals in this game, and from a total of about 5 yards.
yeah, the second one was much further out. It was at least 3 yards
Yeah,
out that one, but
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
but actually, he it wasn't just like slam the ball home. He had to sort of control it and then
Oh, that's the
poke
second
it
one.
home.
Yeah, the second one was a lovely touch and swivel. Like touched it with one leg. What was it something? Well, touched it and then swiveled and powered it past the keeper.
Yeah.
Second goal. The first goal was kind of bundle it in. The second goal was a lovely finish. Yeah,
Okay, you've watched it more recently than I have,
yeah.
so
About
I'm
10 minutes before we
yeah,
started.
exactly. Good. That's when you should watch it as well. So we pulled it back to 1-1 anyway, and then in the 60th minute, what looked like a first viewing looked like a wonder goal because it was a ball from them from the left across to the backside of the post, and Eremenko hit it on the volley, and it looked like he'd buried it into the bottom corner, but it actually was going across the goal and bounced in off of Valentin Gask for an own goal, and if that's not given as an own goal, that's shocking.
Yeah, I mean, Eremenko's got much more skill than me, but my skill is like always like hit it hard and low across the box, and someone will hopefully bundle it in for you. And in this case, it was Gask. You can't do anything. You're running back towards goal to defend something, and it just hits you, and neither you nor the keeper have got any chance.
The difference
So.
between you and Eremenko, Jules, is that you do it in your own box and he did it in the opposing box.
Oh, I played the other week, and I was doing. I thought I'm doing all right here, and then
And
I
then the
haven't made
ref
any.
blew the whistle to start the
No,
game.
no, no, we don't have refs. And then I scored a fantastic headed goal from about 15 yards out. Well, we don't have keepers, but I can't do that at the right end. It was a fantastic own goal. I thought
Oh,
oh, so much for
we'll
that.
come on to that again in the HJK game
Uh,
shortly, I guess. Yeah. Um, and then and you put in the notes here that then this is when they really pressured us,
yeah, yeah.
and there was that one great save where it was where the forward came in on Rope Paunio and from quite close range and Rope was close to him, but somehow got a hand to it that sent the
Well,
ball down into the turf and up over the
or was
over
it
the
that it
bar.
hit him between the legs and bounced over? You see, this is the one
Okay.
of the things I would say that this is the kind of he was unlucky with the goal against VPS, and this was when there was a bit of luck with this one that I don't think he knew too much about it, to be honest. He might disagree with me, and then it kind of hit him and bounced over. And if it was a soggy night, then it possibly would be bounced into the goal. But because the pitch is nice and hard, it bounced.
I think there's something to be said that you put yourself in the position to be able to make the save. So
Exactly.
he did,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
probably in both those he did the right thing. And one, like you say, one of them bounced in and one bounced over.
Yep.
That's true.
Exactly. Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
Um, but then we started to get back into the game, and Samuel Chuckwoody got his second one. This is the one
Yep.
you described, lovely
Yep.
lovely touch and turn before. Then a minute later, also pulling a hamstring,
Yeah.
seemingly.
Yes. Yeah. So of the back four that started this season, we've only got one left. We've
Yeah,
only got Fatty left. So Perez gone at the moment, and Chukwudi gone. Um, Salim is gone. So yeah.
friend of the Jules, you have to say friend of the pod. Salim Youssef has gone. That's just the way
I'm
you have to
just
do these things.
using first names. Is that okay?
Um,
Yeah.
so again, like, okay, the Vepsu game, it's disappointing. We played well. It's disappointing to lose right at the end. The Gnistan game, we've played well.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing these updates with our WhatsApp group, and I'm sharing them with my dad because he's interested to follow us from afar.
Yeah.
And my brother said, "Well, you concede a lot of goals." I said, "Yeah, but we score a lot too, and it's not boring."
Yeah.
This is the one thing that Stevie said all along. I want my teams not to be boring, and it's
Yeah.
it's not it's not boring.
Yeah.
And well, we continued that yesterday, didn't we? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, going back to
oh,
the
go on.
before, the Kingston, I think is as Stevie said, it's like a point gained, not 2 points lost. And he
Yeah.
says that he's never played against a team who's played so well against one of his teams. So I
Mm,
think Gnistan could easily have won that 4-2. But we got 2-2, so that's a point gained. What still bothers me, and we'll go on to tomorrow night,
mm.
of all the results that are bothering me, it's still the VPS and the Hacker. Those games where we Hacker got a draw in the last minute, VPS got a win. We've got to take those easier games and get points from them rather than, expect something from Helsinki.
But this is but are they? I mean, okay, yeah, easier because you expect Cubs and HJK to be near the top
Yep,
ultimately,
yep.
but then teams like from last year as well, Vepsu, Haka, Ilves, Inter, us. They're probably the five teams you'd expect to be on a similar kind of level.
Yeah, but
So,
I expect us to beat VPS and Hacker at home every season.
but that's
At
that's fair.
home,
That's
at
fair.
home. Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
And especially when we're winning, when we're leading them with both of them with 2-1 at some point of the
mm,
game, you'd expect to close it out. But
yeah. Yeah.
so, these things happen, but that's the thing that still gets me is that, those are the easier points to get. When you're winning 2-1 at home, then you should be looking to get 3 points, not a total of one
Mm.
from six. But yeah,
And then we come to yesterday's game away to HJK, and you've already mentioned our defence. It meant we went in with a really young
yeah.
defence. Um,
Against
inexperienced, yeah,
HJK
yeah, exactly. Of all
superstars,
the teams, of all the sides,
Pukki,
another side that's got
Ring.
plenty of
Yeah,
the sort of the top Finnish talent, and also um, experienced former international players
yeah.
as well. So it was tough, but well, I think we found it really difficult in the start. I mean, it was young. Anis Makar got a first start,
Yep.
and Kasper Pannanen and Rassi Karjalainen were starting on the bench, and Jere Streng and Bojang up front, and think maybe the idea to try and catch on the counter attack,
Yeah, I think speed was the issue, wasn't it? Yeah, they're
and
going
it
for.
and it worked up to a point in that we did get behind them a few times during that first half. Unfortunately, they got through us three times
Yeah,
in the first half. We were under a lot of pressure,
yeah.
and just couldn't play our way through it, and couldn't get ourselves into our usual rhythm of playing, I would say.
I think we're missing. If we're going for the speed, then it would have been a big difference if Alanis Vargas was there,
Yeah.
and Bojang just he didn't have a good game. Bless him. He's like his touch was off, and so when the ball did get to him, it kind of bounced off and into them. So it's a hard thing to play up by yourself. against HJK. So it just didn't work. And you're right. Before the game, I thought I'm going to put a bet on that we're going to lose 3-0. And then at half time, I thought, oh my God, it's 3-0 at half
Can
time.
I cash
So
it in now?
yeah, yeah. Luckily, I
Uh,
didn't put the bet on, but
but yeah, it was sort of 1-0 down in the 8th minute, 2-0 down 15th, 3-0 down 35.
yeah,
And even the start of the second half. I mean, at halftime, Rase came on for Bojang, and even maybe the next 15 minutes, even
yeah.
really, we were under pressure. But the last half an hour, it was a different game. I mean, we
Yeah,
we
when it
had
was 4-0 and they'd taken off all their best players, including Tikkanen. I heard as well, like Tikkanen goes off, and then suddenly there's space and we start scoring.
well, that is true. I mean, we also had by that time we had Kasper Panen on the pitch.
Didn't he come on at halftime as well?
No, he came
Right,
on 60 on half an hour, so he
right.
replaced Makal at the same time that Pedera replaced Arcelo. Um, but all of what you said is true about the subs and everything. But we scored twice in the last half an hour, and we had three other really
Yeah,
good chances. We had one that was offside, and it was offside, unfortunately. Russ's header. We had Gask who headed against the post from about 2 yards. And there was one other, I think that there was one other chance. I can't now it's gone out of my head
yeah.
because I'm old and forgetful. But I sat there thinking it definitely wasn't Stevie's plan to go 4-0 down and then try and come back into the
Lull them
game.
into a
He
false sense
doesn't
of
want it to be that
security. Yeah.
exciting.
Yes.
But but you could almost see that you could see the change in personnel and the change
Yeah.
in the second half actually working. And if we'd nicked it 5-4, it would have been devastating for HJK, but it wouldn't have been unfair on chances created
No, no, because
in
at
in
the
that
end of
second
it,
half anyway.
yeah. Well, actually, the statistics, I think it was basically equal for shots on goal or shots throughout the whole game. So yeah, yeah, it was a very encouraging end to the game, and much better than a 3-0 down, 4-0 down. Remembering the year where we lost to HJK 6-0 twice in the same
Mm,
season,
mm.
then I was thinking, oh well, could this be another 6-0? So the fact that they only scored four, the fact that we scored two, very encouraging. It would have been nice to go there with a first team rather than our reserves basically, or the
Yeah.
squad players out of the back four. Just only Fatty's a normal starter,
Mm,
and
mm.
so it's a big ask for players to go there and learn basically.
And what's I think is interesting is we've had these three games that we've just described in quite a bit of detail, actually. Um, and yet the fans are like, there was a lot to take away from that. Like it's not just us saying this, but in the WhatsApp groups, nobody's like, oh, this is terrible. Sack everyone and start again. Everyone's like, I can see what's happening. I understand the team yesterday was weakened and inexperienced,
Yeah.
more inexperienced. So no one's throwing their toys out of the cot, and that says something about what was building at the club. I think this year.
Well, and it's entertaining as well. We might
Yeah.
lose 3-2, but then or lose 2-2 against Hacker, but then it's not like we're sitting through boring 90 minutes and losing 1-0.
No, we've done that, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But what I
yeah.
would say is it's also exciting for the HJK fans to like win 3-0.
Yeah,
We can
that'd be
settle for the
nice.
other team not
Yeah.
scoring. That'd be all
Yeah.
right.
Has that happened? Have we shut anybody out? Yes, we have. At the
Yeah.
start of the
Yeah,
season,
yeah,
we,
yeah, we
we were
did.
quite good
We did.
shutting out. That's when
Um,
we had all our defenders.
yeah, that's true. And that also
So,
gives some
yeah.
confidence for the future, doesn't it?
I'd
Um,
love to know the injury status of the players. And
yeah, well we'll have to see if our sources from inside the club will give us an
yeah.
update.
Well, Salim Youssef, he said like friend of the show, friend of the podcast. Yeah, so
That's it. Well done.
when he was on here, he sounded like he would be back fairly soon, didn't he? So hopefully he'll be back for
Yeah, well, then that brings us up to the next couple of games. So,
Well, into games. So that brings back our very experienced right back who has played 5.5 games at right back.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's Sunday. That's Sunday 25th. That's a home game against Inter. Kickoff at 18:30 on a Sunday, and then on Saturday the 31st is an away
I
game.
was excited. In the notes, it says a large crowd expected, but you haven't updated it from
I think
the
they're the
VPS.
notes from the last game.
All
Yes.
right. I thought, blimey, Sunday night
Yeah, that
against
would be
Inter. Wow,
that would be a
that's
shock, wouldn't it?
progress after not winning for 3 games.
But the game, the Oulu
4
away
games.
game on Saturday the 31st kicks off at 1700, 5 o'clock. But I just wanted to mention quickly before we finish that there's this Chämppäri event at OmaSp Stadion. So they're showing the Oulu game on the big screen there. Then at 10 o'clock, they're showing the Champions League final. And in between, there's other events and activities going on in the HJK Arena, just outside the ground there. And they've asked these two idiots to appear on stage and do something. We're not exactly sure what we're going to be doing yet,
No.
but we will do
I can
by
juggle.
then. So we'll put a link in our link tree to this Chämppäri event, but it's Chämppäri meaning like Champions League event. So come
Do you know
along
much
there.
about it? How much does it cost to get in, or do we
I
know?
don't know if it costs to get in, because this has been organised by cultural production students from SEAMC, and there's been a series of events going on around the town organised by different groups of students. So it might just be that they're organising this in partnership with OmaSp to get people down there to eat food and drink beer and watch events.
Could it be free?
It could be, yeah, it could be. I don't know yet. If it's not free, then don't blame us.
Yeah, if it's free, I'll bring my mum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't think the beers and the food will be free once you get there, but
Unless
yeah,
she
getting
buys
in,
me a beer.
I think she can buy the beer. Yeah, exactly. That's right. It's your inheritance, Jules. Ultimately, drinking away.
Yeah, it won't take many beers to get through that.
Yeah.
In Finland.
Right. I think, Jules, that just about wraps up this episode. So, listener, remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening, and you can find the whole archive of our episodes on YouTube.
And I apologize for not having a visitor, and I hope it wasn't too, the games have been coming thick and fast, and we haven't had much prep time, so I hope that doesn't show, because the standard is so low anyway. It doesn't matter.
We showed
too much.
exactly what we know about football.
Anyway, you can contact the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast by email at seinäjokifutbolpod@gmail.com, and you can find links to all our content on Linktree at Seinäjoki Football Pod.
Yeah, and we've also got this WhatsApp group that we talked about where we continue the conversation between podcasts. So on match days, I'll share a little bit of pre-match info, and then I'll share score updates. And if I'm watching at home, I'll do little videos of the goals off my TV. It's all very very lo-fi and punk rock, but it's a good way to just keep track of what's going on during the games. It's open to any fan of HJK. So if you want to join us, find the link on Linktree and request to join, and I'll let you in if you prove to me that you're actually a fan of the club and not just trying to click on links.
Yeah. So until the next episode, see you at the stadium or see you online. Goodbye.
Hey,